Hello, everyone. I'm Chestic44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper 2. Last episode, we went through trying to find this, thing that Eugen was trying to get, but it appears we failed. Whatever it was taken away. So we have to go talk to Eugen, it seems, and for that, we need to get out of here. And nope, wrong button. Hold on. Sorry about that. Took me a minute to find the right button. Map. That's the right one. You can now travel back to the hub. Once you leave, you will not be able to return. Yes, leave. All our stress will be gone. Eugen has spent the journey back to the far spindle, avoiding Seraphin as best he can. It might be that he is afraid, but you get the feeling it's more likely that he has been making himself scarce out of a genuine sense of regret. Seraphin, however, doesn't see his behavior so favorably. Slimy shit won't even show his face. Seraphin complains loudly as he finalizes docking. Put us in a spacer crew's sights with no care for anyone but himself. Enough, Seraphin. Seraphin turns to shoot you an irritated look, but as he does, you see his eyes jump to the door behind you. You hear the rustle of movement behind your head and turn to see Eugen in the cockpit's doorway, a rare, serious expression on his face. I owe you all an explanation. His voice is low and steady. Believe it or not, this was not my plan. Yeah, your plan was to find the loot in that wreck and split with it, wasn't it, big man? Seraphin glares at Eugen. No. Eugen gives him a tired look. It wasn't. Hear him out, Seraphin. Bliss cuts in from the back of the cockpit. Vesna has been searching for a ship. Eugen looks over your heads at the far spindle. An infamous ship. Seemed like she already had a ship. That was part of the problem. Not a rig. Eugen looks down towards him. A fraction drive ship. An interstellar ship. That seems to shut Seraphin up. And you don't blame him. An interstellar ship here in the belt? That's tech from the core systems. Why didn't you say? I shouldn't even be telling you now. Eugen frowns. Word gets out that there's a factory fresh fraction ship somewhere in the belt. People kill for less. Gangs kill for much less. You are telling me there's a fraction ship that no one has ever found that's been sitting here since when? Since the collapse? Believe it or not, that's exactly it. Eugen looks to you. Vesna put me on the trail. She wanted me to find its location for repayment. An old debt. But the moment I found the data that verified its existence, that confirmed the ship was out there, I couldn't give it to her. And that's when you found me. Why keep it from her? Eugen folds his arms. You may have met Vesna, but you don't know her. Eugen meets your eye. She's one of the last people in the belt who should have a ship like that. Well, no one has the ship now, if it even exists. Need I remind you that it wasn't there? Your data was a bust. No, it was there once. Those wrecks? Those were the ships that fought over the fraction ship. A bunch of Solheim corporates who wanted to get out of the system when it all came down. And that ship was their ticket. The Aphelion Path. Eugen looks out at the far spindle. It was there. But someone moved it. Hid it. Long before we got there. Sounds like a fantasy to me. Eugen nods. I believe in this fantasy, Sleeper. I am sorry, Sleeper. He looks at Bliss and Seraphin. And to you both as well. I wanted to keep this secret. I wanted to find the Aphelion Path, and I knew that, if I did, you would understand. Still, I was wrong to manipulate you. He bows his head. But I'm not done. He raises his head, his gaze hard now. I will find the ship, and I will leave the belt. How will you do that? Seraphin shoots him a sly look. With no ship of your own and Vesna at your back. Eugen ignores him and moves closer to you. Sleeper, I will uphold our deal. I will serve on your crew. And when I have news of the Aphelion, you will know. How can I trust you? Only you can answer that, Sleeper. I would give you my word if it was worth anything. Seraphin turns to you. I know, I always say it, but this time you have to listen, Sleeper. This guy is no good. I've known his type, don't bring him. This can be your escape too, Sleeper. Okay, you're in. Could always use some extra help. You've got a lot to prove. Seraphin passes close to Eugen as he leaves. You better get on with it. Eugen meets his eye but says nothing. Once Seraphin is gone, he looks to you and nods. Thank you. He turns and leaves too. Quite the ragtag group we have here. Bliss nudges past you. I know you understand what a second chance means for you, Sleeper, but I am glad to see you understand that others need the same. They slip out before you can respond. You stare out of the cockpit at the lights of the far spindle. You hope Eugen understands his mistake, and you hope even harder that Vesna doesn't hold a grudge, even though you know for a fact she does. You sigh. The bunks are going to need expanding at this rate. Oh, something flickers in the back of your mind. You stop. You have to stop to blink it away. It is a tightness behind your left eye, an aching point that refuses to move. And then the voice begins, hissing through the background noise of the rigged systems, a new whine amongst the chorus of the life support and ventilation. Sleeper. The hiss brings Lane's sharp features to mind. I suppose you thought you had slipped my net. Hexport jumps into your mind, an image of the station immolating in white light, though you were not conscious to witness it. You are distant. His voice hisses into white noise. But you are not free of me yet. I'm coming, Sleeper, and I will retake control of what is mine. The closer I come to you, the more you will feel it. Lane moves your finger to tap your forehead. In here. Until you cannot resist. A bright smile, pale eyes, a growing hiss that hurts. Then the hiss is gone. The rig suddenly quiet, the stinging tightness diffusing behind your eyes, but the fear remains. Sleeper, you good? Seraphin is there, floating by your berth. You were talking. Lane is coming. Seraphin looks alarmed. You feel him, right? We can use that. Stay ahead of him. He squeezes your shoulder. We can do this. We are fast and smart. We keep moving, we don't stay anywhere for long. And we find a way. Somehow. You nod. You do not know how Lane is able to reach into your mind like this, how he's able to speak into you. But you want so desperately for it to stop. You must find out what he has done to you before it is too late. You must stay ahead of Lane at all costs. So let's see. Lane is hunting you once again. His progress is tracked by the hunt clock. If this is filled, he will catch up with you. It will increase once every cycle you spend in a hub. However, each time you travel, the hunt will reduce by 3. If you keep moving, you can stay one step ahead of Lane. Ah, so that's how it works. So, each time we travel to another location, the hunt will go down. Each time we stay, the hunt increases. So we're not going to want to stay in one place for long. Okay, well, we do have 2, and as nice as it would be to get one of these, I don't want one of these. I want to save up to improve these to +1. That'll take time. So what do we have here? We have diagnose your frame, find a tech in Flotsam. That's something we can work on. Cadet needs your help with something only a sleeper can help with, and It'll take components to repair your frame, so it's a good idea to get a hold of some. We could fix a dice slot if I knew how. Unfortunately, I can't right now, because nothing is broken. Okay. So, what do I need to do here? Let's see. Well, I do have all this raw scrap, and I believe I can sell it at this scrapper's ship. Seven cryo. And we get processed scrap, which... Cut and wrap scrap plating ready for the exchange. That could be useful. I guess the processed scrap could have use for something. Okay, somewhere I need to find more supplies, and I need to buy some food. Okay, that's not gonna work. Nimbus Kitchen. Earn a meal. Nimbus Kitchen serves those that can't work in the underhang, but able-bodied visitors like you have to work a kitchen shift to get to eat. That would be a way to get Nemba. Gaia's Gyre. That would be a way to buy food. This is fill supplies. Ugh, that is a lot of money to fill supplies, but we kind of need them. And a little bit to fill fuel. That cost a lot, but it's not like we have much choice. Stripline Express? That's how we would be getting in, but I don't think we actually can right now. We're going to need money, and we need food. Gambler's Friend. That would... I am working on my way with this. That does get me some money. This is, not a good choice. Yeah, that's starving, and I have stress. Okay. I need to get food. And it seems like the best option is in the no, not the kitchen. The best way to get food would be in the gyre. That gets me some energy. I guess I can do a few more here and hope for something. That's at least a little cryo. There, that at least did something. So I got some chits. Oh, and we have 3 points of glitch. Okay. I think we can rest here. I can try and at least get that information out of this. We wait 2 rounds and then we move somewhere else. Cryo is actually a good thing. Go ahead and keep hunting for cryo. Give me some good rolls. Those are the worst possible rolls we could have had. What the fuck? This is absolutely terrible. Well, at least roll the glitches. To get rid of them. Horrible ideas. But I need to at least try. Well, it's helping a bit. We are almost done with Gambler's Friend, so I mean, that's something. Use that to buy some food. We rest 1 more. Please give me some good numbers. One of your dice is broken due to losing all its dice health. Broken dice can be repaired at the rig for a cost once the workshop is available. Well, we do have that. Dice repair. That's what we gotta do. Okay, and we get minor glitches from this. Wonderful. This is fantastic. At least they're repaired. Because if we roll ones, that happens. Ugh. Alright. One more Venture Bar shift. As long as we don't get a negative. Okay. Gambler's Friend. Now that you are vouched for, you can play games in the casino, but you feel the eyes of security on you. People are usually suspicious of sleepers, but they get especially suspicious when you repeatedly win games of chance. Ah, so I can only do so much. Well, I'll do one more roll here. 25 cryo, that's actually pretty good. At this point, though, we should get out of here. We do have 3, we need one more. We can't help Cadet right now, we'll have to deal with that later. Flotsam seems to be where we need to go. Let me check the workshop. No, not the workshop. The rig bunks. This will reduce stress. Recovery failed. Okay, noted. That's what that does. Okay. So, while we do have one there, we can't really afford to do it right now. So, Flotsam is where we need to go, it seems. Ramshackle Flotilla. Alright, well, there's a mission we can do there. The hunt will go down. Let's go. It's hard to tell where Oh, God. It's hard to tell where Flotsam ends and the ships parked at its many docking bridges begin. As Seraphim docks with the station, you realize that the rig now looks like just another piece of accumulated technology. One more bit of driftwood added to the raft. I love this place. Seraphim smiles as he shuts down the engines. You never know what you find. You've been here before? Yeah, back when I first came to the Belt. The crew I signed on with used to run salvage jobs out here. Fun place to spend your wages. You see Bliss eyeing the station with what looks like both horror and fascination. You see the seals? They point out some twisted assemblage of ship parts. Total cowboy welds, they could pop any moment. Seraphim waves away their concerns. Oh, that's just the outer layer. I heard there's 6 or 7 in all, so if one fails, it's no problem. He stretches and turns to you. You've got to taste some of the stuff they grow in old Takahe. Mwah, that's the good shit. Oh, great. So many layers of redundancy and fallbacks that you have no hope of isolating a leak and fixing it. They rap on the wall of the rig. Sounds like a ship I know. Defend the rig. Seraphim joins in, the two of you shoulder to shoulder. She got you out here, didn't she? No sense of gratitude. I was joking. Bliss looks a little hurt and drifts out of the cockpit, shaking their head. You go to follow, but Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder. Sleeper, remember what I said about getting checked out? There are artificers all over this place. It'll take a bit of searching, but we need to know what's going on with you. That's why we're here. Good. Let me know what they say. I'm gonna go see if any of my old haunts are still open. I'll catch you later. You are left alone in the cockpit with a view of Flotsam's chaotic structure. You look over the multicolored plating. It does, you admit, have a certain charm. Not much to this place. We've got the rig here. Looks like we'll need to do some searching. And hope that this works. Learning the chaotic structures of Flotsam from corridor to ship and back again takes time. So, we have Explore Flotsam, a ramshackle assemblage of decommissioned ships and wrecks. To call Flotsam labyrinthine is a serious understatement. Or Analyze Structure. Flotsam is made from maybe hundreds of ships, gathered and modified over time. A good engineer might be able to identify them. We'll go ahead with exploring. Oh, we got one. There's a certain charm to the smashed-together aesthetics of Flotsam, one that grows on you the more corridors you explore. What happens if we analyze? Low energy, but we did get a point. You follow the remains of a freighter as it splices with some unknown derelict. You're so distracted you get completely lost. Oh, jeez. And we're starving. Wonderful. So what do we have? We have the Narrow Escape. The Narrow Escape's barman, Botan, has a tip about a recovery contract. For a few chits, he'll give you the coordinates. My rig's blown its propulsion and I'm stranded on some godforsaken rock. Repair crew needed. We'll split haul. No time wasters or thieves. I'm armed. And buy a meal. The Narrow Escape specializes in leaf-wrapped parcels of rice and mushrooms, all the ingredients grown on Flotsam. Over here, we can buy fuel, and we can buy scrap components. It is cheap fuel. That is a good thing. I'll definitely buy the fuel to get full up. And I'll buy a meal just to actually have some food on us. And buying the contract sounds like a good idea. So we've got a new contract. Now we need to rest. Okay, we still have one glitch, but I think we'll be fine. You know what? Use this glitch here, rest and recover. Maybe it'll work? Recovery failed. Okay, let's finish exploring. Analyze the structure. You start paying attention to the wires, feeds, and pipes. They lead you everywhere, from busy thoroughfares to hidden bays. And this should allow us to get the last one. Flotsam has grown on you quickly. There's nowhere else in the belt quite like it. The chaos of Flotsam intrigues you. Passage to passage is the most incoherent place you have ever visited. Plating, cladding, and cushioning of all kinds of conditions hides a forest of wires and ducts, interfacing in ways our manufacturers would never dream possible. Rooms are crushed cargo bays, flipped bridges, and eviscerated engine rooms. Patchwork corridors are lumpen with messy welds, bending worryingly along their length. It is, to put it nicely, a total mess. It's not that you don't like it, but finding an artificer among this chaos has been more than a little challenging. This cycle, searching these winding passages once more, seeing only scrap merchants and junk shops, you have begun to wonder if Seraphim had any idea what he was talking about when he advised you come here. A sleeper? The voice cuts through the pungent air. Well, I never. You glance in the voice's direction and find yourself looking at a small booth piled with tech. Behind a fogged and scratched plastic screen is a meticulously arranged counter, the only clear spot in sight. At it, an older man with wet and wandering eyes sits neatly. Excuse me? The man's eyes widen. Apologies. I wasn't sure you'd even hear me. Jean-Mi tilts his head. I didn't mean to be rude. Please. And he bows a little. That's okay. He smiles warmly, almost bowing again, his hunched shoulders accentuating the movement. How... He pauses, taking care with his speech now. How are you feeling, sleeper? He beckons you a little closer. I am Jean-Michel, though please, to you, Jean-Mi. I work with machines. He sweeps a hand above his counter where you see configurations of tiny parts. Mostly small ones. I'm not great. Of course. He chops with his hand to indicate a stool with a leg bar, meant for perching beside his counter, and such is the clarity and persuasiveness of his movement that you obligingly sit. Your presence is a rare honor here. He smiles and looks down at his lap. I am sorry if I make you uncomfortable. I am just very pleased to see you. That's okay. Very kind of you to say. I can see your journey to me has not been easy, he says with genuine concern. You track his eyes across your body, noticing the scuff marks on your thick, vinyl-like skin, the replaced and broken parts of your body, the marks of violence. You pull your jacket a little tighter. Jean-Mi folds his hands one over the other and places them on the counter. I do not know what your experiences have been, but I want to assure you that I see you as a person, a being, a soul, shall we say, as valid as any other. You look at Jean-Mi, his own age and wear also evident, a life of precise and careful work shaping his body into a reflection of his process. You note his unconfident way of speaking, which betrays a certain loneliness, a lack of practice. It is his turn to feel observed. How do you expect me to respond? I am sorry, I do not think I am expressing myself well. He looks down at his counter and begins to take apart a tiny piece of machinery that sits there. Many years ago, when I began my apprenticeship, I would find that whenever I saw something that, how to say, was not working well, I was fixated on it and its repair. He tinkers with the parts, twisting them precisely. Of course, the belt is filled with this kind of dysfunctional detail. And so I was busy, for many years, with these small fixings. He smiles in reminiscence. But now I find that when I am interested in a thing that is not working as it should, he sharply twists one of the parts between his fingers. It is because it might have some quality not yet foreseen or discovered. He releases the altered object into the air, where it balletically twists in a hypnotic display, like a spinning top whose movements are totally unpredictable. Jean-Mi smiles at you watching his hypnotic toy. I can see that you are in a process of becoming Sleeper. He catches the spinning toy between a finger and thumb. Let me aid you with this. What do you mean? Jean-Mi's precise hands drop to a device around his neck. He deftly pulls a pair of goggles up to his face, masking his wet eyes. Hold still, Sleeper. Something flickers inside the goggles, their face blank. Jean-Mi's hands play across buttons and switches on the exterior, turning, focusing. What are you doing? Jean-Mi holds up a single stubby finger and continues to work. When the goggles are finally lowered, they reveal a look of concern on Jean-Mi's face. I think you better come inside. He kicks off from his desk and disappears. A moment later, you hear a rattle, and a small bulkhead door beside the booth that you had assumed was rusted shut creaks open. Jean-Mi beckons you inside. Jean-Mi's workshop is even more cramped than you expected. As you enter, you are surrounded on all sides with netting holding bundles and bundles of terminals, servers, drives, and cables. At its center, a padded seat and a set of articulated arms mounted with sensors and tools fill the space. The seat, please. Jean-Mi gestures at it with a polite smile. What are you going to do? Not to worry, I only wish to examine you. It is non-intrusive. You tentatively settle on the seat, slipping your arms and feet into the straps meant to keep you from floating out of it in zero-G. Jean-Mi floats beside you. He looks across your body. There is damage here, I see that. We will get to that. But I see something else here as well. This is why you came. He looks at you solemnly. Yes. Though I have never met a Sleeper, I have studied them. I was lucky to acquire some materials from SNARP some time ago, in the interest of my own endeavors. He begins arranging a series of sensors around you on articulated arms. You are pleasingly distinct from those materials. His eyes flash with excitement. Am I right in thinking you have been modified? I rebooted myself. Yes, I see that your dependency on Stabilizer, on the immune recoding potion of its makeup at least, has been broken. But that is not all. You are physically modified, not externally, but internally. He carefully positions the final sensor. Your tracker is disabled, which makes it impossible for SNOP to find you. Congratulations. But this is not all. You have been modified, yes, but you are also being modified as we speak. You feel a strange claustrophobia at Jean-Mi's statement. Modified? Seraphon rebooted your system, ran the recoding protocol, but that shouldn't have physically changed you. It only removed your planned obsolescence. That can't be right. Then you are not aware. I am sorry to hear that. Jean-Mi goes to a terminal and flicks a switch. Through the back of the translucent screen, you see a nodal web in the vague shape of a sitting body. Your body. These changes appear to be complex, subtle, but consistent. Jean-Mi goes silent as he taps at the terminal, the representation of your body rotating and unfolding in unsettling motions. What changes? See here. He points at a flickering representation of your spine, tracing a line towards your head. Your nervous system is growing additional nodal points here and here. Meanwhile, your emulation interface is growing an umbilical access port, though to what end, I am unsure. You instinctively reach back and touch the base of your head. As you do, the scan flickers and screeches with noise. You feel for something there growing under your thick vinyl skin. Can you feel a lump, or is that just your imagination? You pick at it. Jean-Mi sighs and shuts off the terminal. The changes are partial, and in all honesty, the resolution is too poor. I need to run a full diagnostic, but for that I would need... He drifts over to another terminal and brings up screens and screens of text and diagrams. Yes, some kind of medium to hold your suspended emulation. The access track I can build myself, but we will need to bridge your emulation. Jean-Mi speaks quietly, almost to himself. A ship mind would be ideal for this. It would have to be high capacity. A prime ship mind, Solheim in origin. Perhaps Hellion Gate might hold records of any that were in the system. He taps at the terminal. Jean-Mi turns back to you. Yes, the prime ship mind is essential if you wish further investigations to be done. I will need this above all. I am sorry to say, Sleeper. Can't you tell me more? Accurately? No. It is clear that a process has begun, but has yet to complete. Jean-Mi busies himself with taking down the sensors and folding away the articulated arms. As he does, you try to calm yourself. You feel as if you have worms under your skin, and it takes all your focus not to pick at its seams. Jean-Mi suddenly but gently places a hand on yours. Please, remain calm. He puts a carefully restored rare component in your hand. This can help you. Jean-Mi waits for you to fall still. Then he leans back a little, relieving some of the strange intimacy of the moment. For now, our work is concluded. He meshes his fingers again and bows with a small head bob. But you are welcome any time. Thank you. Of course. His manner seems to have returned to something more businesslike. A humble man who knows his customers' needs. You get up from the seat, a little dazed, and push away from the passage. Safe travels, Sleeper, Jean-Mi says quietly, placing the promised list in your hand as he lets you back into the station. You leave, dazed, unsure of how you feel about the insistence of this man's particular kindness. But most of all, haunted by the idea of the unseen processes that are running within you. Part of you does not wish to know anything further, to leave this place and never look back. And another is desperate to immediately retrieve every object on this list so that you may know what strangeness is happening within you. For now, you must steady yourself and find a way to continue. Seraphin comes to find you in your bunk. After Jean-Mi's assessment, you find yourself drifting back to the rig in need of the familiarity and comfort of your own ship. Sleeper? You found an artificer? He hovers by the door, looking concerned. Explain. You tell him about Jean-Mi, how he offered you repairs and ran an assessment of your frame. You describe the cramped booth, the articulated arms, the strangeness of seeing your own body anatomized upon the terminal screen. Then you tell him that your body is changing, growing in ways Jean-Mi cannot identify, that some process has been started and you do not know where it will end. You mention umbilical ports and nodal points, trying your best to remember the details of the things Jean-Mi asked you to retrieve. Seraphin grows pale and silent. He shakes his head when you stop talking. Lane. That piece of shit has to be behind this. Jean-Mi didn't say. He wouldn't know, but I know that piece of shit, and I know he would do something like this. We'll get what you need. We'll find that ship mind. A bit of work here and there, and we can make it to Hellion Gate and wherever else. What about your stuff? We'll do that too. We're free, Shaper. No one can stop us. Just say the word, okay? Don't give up on yourself just yet. Get it up and get back to it. And with that, he turns and kicks off down the corridor, disappearing from sight. You wait a little while, staring at the stained ceiling of the bunks, letting the thoughts settle in your mind. And then when you are ready, you get up and leave, dazed but with a stony determination growing in your chest. Alright. We'll investigate these other locations soon enough, but for now, I need to end this episode here. Next episode, we'll look through the rest of this place and see if we can find any way to make money or anything else good. Till then, I am Chestic44, also known as Fly. This has been a Let's Play of Citizen Sleeper 2, and I shall see you all next time.